I was standing in a Circle K, holding a cold bottle of water, when I felt something strange, a calm impulse, almost automatic. I bought a lottery ticket. $2. Didn't even look at the numbers. 24 hours later, my life changed forever. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to get here, and you can do it too. Subscribe and find out how. I still remember the exact moment I realized I'd been hiding for 20 years. It was a Tuesday in March, and I was sitting at my desk at the clinic in Phoenix, scrolling through Instagram during my break. Sarah from the front desk walked by, and I barely recognized her. Her smile, completely different. Straight, white, confident. She looked like she'd stepped out of a magazine. I felt something tighten in my chest, a mix of longing and shame I'd carried since high school. That night, I stood in front of my bathroom mirror and forced myself to smile with my mouth open, something I never did. There they were, crooked, stained, the canine that jutted out awkwardly. I was 34 years old, and I'd spent half my life covering my mouth when I laughed, turning my face away in photos, keeping my lips sealed in every conversation. I wasn't just hiding my teeth. I was hiding who I was. The next morning, I finally did what I'd been avoiding for years. I called a cosmetic dentist. The appointment was scheduled for a Thursday afternoon at a well-known clinic in Scottsdale. The office was pristine. Marble floors, plants in the lobby, design magazines neatly arranged on the coffee table. I felt small there, like I didn't belong. The receptionist smiled at me with perfect teeth. Of course. Dr. Reynolds was kind, professional. He took x-rays, examined my mouth with that bright light, made notes. I lay there in that reclining chair, listening to the hum of the equipment, tasting the latex from his gloves, and part of me already knew this was going to hurt, not physically, but in my wallet, in my hope. So, Alyssa, he said, removing his gloves and sitting on a swivel stool, you're a perfect candidate for porcelain veneers. We'll need 10 to 12 units to give you that smile you deserve. That smile you deserve. The words echoed in my head. Did I really deserve it? What would the investment be? I asked, trying to sound casual, but my voice came out weak. He opened a folder, slid a printed paper toward me. $18,500, with a complete treatment plan. We have financing options, of course. I looked at the numbers. $18,500. I had $1,200 in savings. My credit card had a $5,000 limit, and I already owed $3,800. Electric bill, water, rent, car, insurance, everything tight, every month in the red, every month that feeling of silent drowning. Thank you, I said, taking the folded paper. I'll think about it. He smiled again, that professional smile. Of course. We're here when you're ready. I walked out with my legs shaking. I got into my 2011 Honda Civic, closed the door, and just breathed. The parking lot was hot, Arizona sun beating on the windshield, and I felt that heat mixing with anger, frustration, sadness. Why could everyone else do it and not me? Why could Sarah do it? Why could people I saw on Instagram do it? What was wrong with me? I drove back to Tempe on autopilot, radio off, just the sound of traffic on Interstate 10 filling the silence. When I got home, I threw my purse on the couch, opened the fridge, grabbed a Diet Coke, and sat on the living room floor. I didn't cry. I was too tired to cry. I just sat there, feeling the weight of everything, the debt, the invisibility, the feeling that I was destined to stay trapped in that cycle forever. That night, I could barely sleep. I kept tossing and turning, thinking about the estimate, the impossible numbers, my ridiculous bank account. And the worst part? It wasn't just about the teeth. It was about everything. About feeling stuck, small, unworthy of receiving anything good. Like I was born to stay in the corner, mouth closed, watching everyone else live except me. 3 days later, I was on my lunch break, sitting in the clinic parking lot eating a tasteless sandwich, when Jenna appeared at my car window and knocked on the glass. Jenna was a lab tech. We'd have lunch together sometimes. She was one of those people who always seemed light, like nothing weighed too much. "Hey, can I come in?" she asked. I unlocked the door. She sat in the passenger seat and handed me a small white envelope. "What's this?" I asked. "Open it." Inside was a printed ticket, an in-person Abraham Hicks seminar in San Diego the following Saturday. I vaguely knew who Esther Hicks was, that she channeled this entity called Abraham, but I'd never really paid attention. "Jenna, I can't accept this. It must have been expensive." "Listen," she cut me off, and her tone changed. Got serious. Direct. "I bought 2 tickets months ago, was going to take my sister, but she canceled. I'm going anyway. And I want you to come with me. I know you're at your limit, Alyssa. I can see it. You think the problem is money, but it's not. The problem is you keep sabotaging yourself. You stay stuck in the same story, the same loop. This seminar, it's not about making money. It's about stopping the self-contradiction. Stopping the self-contradiction." The phrase kept echoing. The following Saturday, Jenna picked me up at 5 in the morning. We drove 4 hours to San Diego, stopped at a Starbucks on the way, and arrived at the hotel where the event would be. The hall was packed. Hundreds of people, some excited, others skeptical like me. When Esther took the stage and began channeling Abraham, something shifted. Her voice became different, deeper, more direct. And then Abraham said something that cut through me like lightning. When you stop contradicting what you desire, life begins to guide you effortlessly. You don't need to force. You need to allow. Allow. I'd never done that in my life. I'd always forced, always fought, always resisted. And where did that get me? Here. Stuck. Invisible. Broken. Sitting in that chair, with hundreds of strangers around me, I decided to do an experiment. 28 days. Just to test it. No fanaticism. No pressure. Just try something different. On Monday morning, before leaving for work, I did something I'd never done. I put on a Spotify playlist called Good Vibes Only and let it play while I got ready. It wasn't too spiritual, just songs that made me feel light. Pharrell, Lizzo, some indie pop I liked. It seemed silly, but it worked. I felt different. Lighter. Then I sat at my kitchen table with my old notebook and wrote 5 quick lines, as if I were already living differently. I'm supported. Money finds me easily. I feel calm. I trust the process. I'm guided. I didn't force it. I didn't try to believe like it was religion. I just wrote, like someone making a shopping list. Simple. Direct. During the day, while filing charts or typing emails, I'd repeat quietly, almost without thinking, I'm guided. I'm provided for. And whenever I noticed I was ruminating about the debt, about the teeth, about how unfair everything was, I'd stop, take a deep breath, and come back to the present. What am I doing right now? Typing. Okay. Back to that. It seemed too simple to work. And maybe that's why it worked. The first week was strange. I didn't feel anything miraculous, no sign from the universe, no crazy manifestation. But I noticed something subtle. I was complaining less. My mind was quieter. I wasn't waking up at 3 in the morning anymore with that tightness in my chest, thinking about bills. In the second week, small things started appearing. A tax refund I'd forgotten about, $240. A coworker offered me $20 she owed from a lunch months ago. My mom, who lived in Tucson, called out of the blue and said she wanted to help me with $100, just because. Nothing grand. But it was like money was moving again, circulating. In the third week, my boss called me into his office. My heart raced. I always expected the worst. But he said the clinic had had a good quarter and I was getting a performance bonus. $500. I thanked him, left the office, and stood in the hallway, shaking. Not from fear. From something I couldn't name yet. I continued with the routine. Playlist. Scripting. Affirmation. Presence. Every day, without skipping, without dramatizing. And something inside me began to change. It wasn't euphoria, it was more like a quiet confidence, a feeling that I was being taken care of, even without understanding how. On the 28th day, I had a follow-up appointment scheduled with Dr. Reynolds. Just to review the estimate, see if there were any discount or payment options. I wasn't expecting anything, but I also wasn't desperate anymore. It was a subtle difference, but huge. The appointment was on Friday, late afternoon. Dr. Reynolds reviewed the estimate, explained financing options that were still impossible for me, but this time, something was different. I didn't feel that pit in my stomach. Didn't feel anger. Didn't feel shame. I just listened, thanked him, and left. In the parking lot, sitting in the car, I took a deep breath. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink over the mountains. I felt strangely at peace, like I was walking meditation, like everything was right, even though nothing was resolved. I drove back to Tempe slowly, unhurried. I stopped at a Circle K on Baseline Road to grab a bottle of water. I went in, grabbed the cold water from the cooler, felt the chill in my hands, and walked to the register. While waiting in line, my eyes fell on the Powerball poster hanging behind the counter. Jackpot of $184 million. I never played the lottery. Thought it was a waste of money. But in that moment, I felt something. It wasn't a thought, it was more like a calm impulse, almost automatic. A soft internal voice that said, "Get one. Can I get a Powerball quick pick?" I said, almost without thinking. The clerk printed the ticket. I paid $2, tucked the folded paper into my jeans pocket, and left. Didn't think about it again. Didn't even look at the numbers. Just went home. That night, after dinner, instant ramen with frozen broccoli, I was folding laundry in the living room with the playlist playing in the background. I found the ticket in the pocket of the jeans I was about to wash. I held the thin paper between my fingers, sat on the couch, and, without knowing why, closed my eyes. For 2 minutes, maybe less, I did a simple visualization. I imagined the numbers appearing on the TV screen. I imagined the feeling of seeing those numbers match. I felt a smile appear on my face, not forced, genuine. And then, I let it go, came back to the moment. Folded a few more shirts, put the ticket in the coffee table drawer and went to bed. Saturday morning, I woke up without an alarm, felt rested. Had coffee, cleaned the kitchen, went to the grocery store. Normal life. Didn't think about the ticket. But on Sunday afternoon, during my shift break, I worked some part-time Sunday shifts at the front desk. I remembered. I grabbed my phone, went to the Arizona lottery website, and entered the ticket numbers. The screen loaded. I read it once. Read it again. My heart stopped. 5 numbers. I'd matched 5 numbers. Prize. $1 million. I didn't scream. Didn't jump. I just sat there in the swivel chair at the reception desk, holding my phone with trembling hands, staring at those numbers on the screen, and a tear rolled down my face. Silent. Warm. It wasn't a movie jackpot, but it was the kind of amount that changed everything. It took me 3 days to tell anyone. Not because I didn't believe it, I believed it, but because I needed to process, to understand what had happened. On Monday, I called the Arizona lottery, confirmed the prize, scheduled to pick up the check on Wednesday in Phoenix. They explained that after federal and state taxes, I'd receive about $650,000 net. $650,000. I could pay off all my debts, get the dental treatment, have an emergency fund, invest, breathe. For the first time in years, I could breathe. But the craziest part? It wasn't the money that transformed me. It was realizing how it happened. I hadn't forced it, hadn't begged the universe, hadn't been obsessed, desperate, clinging. I'd done the opposite. I'd let go. I'd allowed. I'd changed my internal state, from scarcity to security, from resistance to presence. And life had responded in a way I never could have planned. On Wednesday, I picked up the check, went home, sat on the couch, and just looked at that paper. It didn't seem real, but it was. The next day, I called Dr. Reynolds and scheduled the start of treatment. When I sat in that chair again, this time was different. I wasn't begging. I wasn't feeling small. I was choosing. I deserved that smile. I always had. The following weeks were a blur of practical decisions. Pay off the credit card, pay off the car, open an investment account, put some in an emergency savings. I didn't spend it all. Didn't go crazy. I stayed conscious, responsible, grateful. But the real transformation happened on a Saturday afternoon, 6 weeks later. I was leaving Whole Foods in Scottsdale, carrying bags, and I passed by a large mirror at the store entrance. I looked, and for the first time in 20 years, I smiled with my mouth open, without thinking, without fear, without shame. The veneers were still in process. I'd had the molds done, was waiting for the final installation, but it wasn't about the teeth. It was about who I'd become. I was no longer hidden, no longer stuck. I'd proven to myself that when I stopped contradicting myself, when I aligned my interior with what I desired, the impossible became inevitable. I called Jenna that night and told her everything. She laughed, cried with me over the phone, and said, "I knew it. I knew you just needed to stop fighting yourself." She was right. The secret was never the lottery ticket. It was the internal state, presence, lightness, an identity of security, and inspired action, not forced, but guided. I'd finally allowed life to reach me, and it reached me in a way I never imagined possible. If you'd asked me a year ago if I believed in manifestation, I would have laughed. Or cried. Probably both. But today, with my new smile, with my stable bank account, with a peace I never thought possible, I understand. It wasn't about winning the lottery. It was about stopping the self-sabotage. It was about trading resistance for permission. It was about understanding that the universe doesn't need you to force, beg, or fight. It just needs you to align, to choose thoughts that make you feel secure, abundant, worthy. And then you act, not from desperation, but from inspiration. The 28 days that changed my life weren't magical. They were intentional. And if it worked for me, a broke girl from Tempe with crooked teeth and an overdrawn account, it can work for you too. You just need to stop contradicting who you really are. And allow. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today.